Are you ever just sitting there editing a photo and this happens? Yes? Then you're probably shooting in JPEG.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm here to clear up the main differences between RAW and JPEG, which one you should be using in the type of photography you do, and how you can switch between them inside your camera. Let's go. RAW versus JPEG. What are the differences? RAW photos carry a ton more detail in the picture than JPEGs do, and therefore have a much bigger file size. And you may have noticed if you've shot RAW before that the photos look a lot more dull and flat once you look at them straight out of the camera. And this gives a lot of people mixed signals, like, is JPEG better? I saw a photo that looked like a RAW photo and then a JPEG photo. I would pick the JPEG because, you know, it's a lot more colorful, it's a lot more natural to what you actually see, but it's actually the other way around. RAW photos are meant to be edited, so that's why they give you such a flat color profile, so you can manipulate the colors how you see fit any way you want, without the restrictions of the already vibrant, colorful JPEG image, because that won't let you manipulate it as much. People think that RAW is a higher resolution than JPEG, and that's why it makes RAW better, you know, oh, yeah. Now, it's not the resolution that's different between the two, they both have the exact same amount of pixels, it's just the quality inside the pixels that's gonna get you. Because each little pixel in a RAW photo keeps a ton more detail than the pixels in a JPEG photo, and this is what makes a difference. And when it comes to editing, this basically allows you to restore any over or underexposed parts of the image to bring them back to the right exposure. Say you have a sky that's really blown out or someone that's too far in the shadows, you can bring them up or bring them down and still see the detail in the sky or the person. And this is super important and a lifesaver, and is something you can't do when you shoot JPEG. Because JPEGs lose the detail in the over and underexposed parts of the image. So when you try and bring them back up, it's not gonna bring back any of the clouds or the person's face or anything like that. Your photo is ruined. It's the same as if you were to shoot on the wrong white balance setting and your photos, the colors are a little bit off. You won't be able to fix that in editing if you're shooting on a JPEG most likely. Whereas a RAW, you can do that with ease. Same as the other colors in the image, you can switch them, do whatever you want. Now we know the difference between the two, let's get into actually how to change the setting in your camera and figure out which one you're shooting. So if you're a little bit confused which file format you're shooting in, are you shooting in RAW or are you shooting in JPEG? If you own a Canon like me, and your photos end in a .crw, a .cr2, or a .cr3, they are RAW photos, my friend. Same for Nikon and Sony here. If your photos end in any of these, then they are also RAW photos. Now, I use a Canon, and they're going to be different for each camera, but they all should be in a similar spot in your menu settings. So for my Canon 80D, I just need to click the menu button, and the very first thing on the first page is image quality, and you can see that says RAW there. So if I go ahead and select that, you can see I've got RAW selected and the JPEG has a line through it, which means I'm not shooting on JPEG at the moment. But if I wanted to, I could click that button. It's the best quality JPEG out of all of them because that is the large file. And you can see I've got two selected now. So each photo I take, it's gonna create one RAW and one JPEG file. If it's similar like this on your camera, you just need to select the RAW button. So you don't really need to be messing with the M or the S, just the original one, that's the one I use, and just the JPEG with the line through it, and now you are shooting RAW. So now you know the differences, you know how to change it inside your camera. Now onto the popular question, which one should you actually use? Now this depends on which type of photography you do. If you're planning to take a lot of photos, say document an event like a family event or any type of event, if you're just gonna document it and not really gonna edit the photos too much, JPEG is the way to go because your file sizes are gonna be smaller, so you don't have to use up as much storage, you can take more photos, and they're gonna be nice and colorful when you look at them. JPEGs. But if you're into the more creative side of photography like me, a lot more messing with colors, exposure, a lot more editing work, then you need to be shooting RAW. That is not even an argument. I wouldn't even touch the JPEG setting in the type of photography that I do. But if you can't decide, you can always shoot both, one RAW and one JPEG at the same time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I answered this iconic question, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace! Oh, that was really aggressive.